I really think that you can get something out of this video, whether you're a beginner worship leader just starting out, or you've been leading worship like I have for decades. What up, all you worship peoples? Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Nate Meist. I love equipping worship leaders with helpful and encouraging content. We're in the breakdown series. We're going to be going over how to introduce a new song to your congregation. First of all, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for hanging out with me and for watching this video. I've been leading worship for over 20 years now, and just have a lot of experience and a lot of things I just want to help other worship leaders with, and I just want to be a resource to other worship leaders. So I also have some music out there on the interwebs, so Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Tidal, all the main things. It's out there. So I just released 2 singles this past year, and I'm really stoked about them. And yeah, go listen if you have some time. Also, NateMeist.com has some additional resources. All right, so how to introduce a new song to your church. This is a pretty fundamental, elementary thing, but I really think that you can get something out of this video, whether you're a beginner worship leader just starting out, or you've been leading worship like I have for decades. I think that there's still going to be something in this video to learn. The first thing I want to go over is the fact that the Bible encourages us to sing a new song unto the Lord. There's nothing wrong with the older songs, and there's especially nothing wrong with the older songs. I'm talking about the hymns. And I personally think that as a worship leader, you should be rotating in hymns on a regular basis. Anyways, before we get into how to introduce new songs, I just wanted to encourage you in that. First of all, we're encouraged to play new stuff, which is rad. The Bible tells us to sing a new song. Second, you don't need to always play new stuff. A new song, for air quotes, for you and your church might be an old song. We just introduced Take You At Your Word by Cody Carnes. That song is a couple years old. A new song for you and your church might be something that's 5 years, 10 years, 15 years old. That's okay. Yeah, just wanted to go over a few of those things before we get into the 3 basic steps that I have laid out in front of me on this Apple Note that I'm going to tell you about. All right, step number 1. When putting your set list together and considering your new song, consider its placement within your set list. And I would encourage you, and this is the first step, couple it with a familiar song. For instance, I'm just going to pull up some examples here that I have in my set list. We just introduced, like I just said, Take You At Your Word. That's in the key of D. You know what song we played right after that we've done 1,000,000 times that I'm personally kind of getting a little sick of? Waymaker. Because the church knows it. It's one of the most familiar songs that we have in our church, and just a familiar song to the Christian community in general. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to be like, hey, here's a new song, guys. Isn't that cool? Okay, now let's worship for real, because I know that you know this song. It almost helps to create, not almost, I think it does help to create trust between you and your congregation, because you're not taking them on a wild goose chase through the set list. So step number 1, couple it, or try to couple it with a familiar song. Just one more example. A few months ago, we introduced Good Plans, and it was song number 4, but the 3 songs before that were Great Things, God So Loved, and Goodness of God. 3 songs that our church knows like the back of their hand. Here, church, you guys can worship. You know all these songs. And then, hey, here's a new song. Let's learn this together. So that's step number 1. Couple the new song with some familiar material. Step number 2 is teach it to the church. So in your set list, when you get to that new song, I would encourage you, this isn't necessary for every single time you introduce a new song. I don't always do it. I didn't do it for Take You At Your Word, actually. I did do it for Good Plans. But I would encourage you to take a moment after the previous song that you just played and say, hey church, we have a new song for you today. This one's called Take You At Your trusting the Lord in what he has promised us in his word, and taking it at his word, trusting him. He has laid out so many things for us in his word, and we can trust him when he says those things. We can lean on those promises. So let's learn this song together. I'm going to play for you the chorus real quick before we get into the song, so that you kind of have a head start learning the chorus. So let's sing this together. That's just an example of like what I would normally say in encouraging the church in this new song. And it's cool because you get them on board. You give them some vision behind why we're doing this song, okay? Give them just a drop of theology. You don't have to do a full message. Please don't, actually. Keep it short. Keep it simple. Keep it biblically rooted if you can. I shared a verse when I introduced Good Plans a few months ago, and it was like one verse, and that was it, and I memorized it. Have everything you're going to say memorized, really, and give some encouragement behind, why we are singing this song. Why did you pick it as a worship leader? Show them why they should trust you. Take a moment to teach the song to the church. Again, not always necessary to address the fact that there's a new song, but I would encourage you to err more on the side of taking a moment to teach the song than not. Number 3, the third step in introducing a new song would be to play it back to back at least 2 to 3 Sundays. You could do more. You could do 4 Sundays. At that point, I feel like it starts getting a little old for the congregation. But I will say, in churches, the congregation attendance ebbs and flows. So you're going to have some people that attend not every single Sunday. So they're only going to catch that song 1 or 2 times. So just to keep that in mind, I at least do 3 Sundays for myself. 3 Sundays in a row, I play that song back to back. And then from there, I put it into an every other week rotation for a few months, and then from there, it goes into a once a month rotation. So that is the progression of a new song's life. Every week for 3 weeks, then to every other week for a few months or a month maybe, and then once a month from there on out, and then when it gets really old, just every 6 weeks to 8 weeks. So that can be kind of a progression that you can follow that I think is a healthy consistency for, how to introduce a new song into your existing repertoire. All right, so bonus step number 4. My video wouldn't be complete without a bonus step. All right, so I gave you the 3 main steps for introducing a new song. This is a bonus step, and that is to work in the chorus for that new song into a preceding set list. Work in the chorus as like a medley with another song, maybe in the same key, same tempo, and then that'll give the church a head start to learning that song. It's kind of like when an artist releases a single to their album, like before they release the album. So then when you get the album, you're like, oh, I know that song. That's cool. There's already some familiarity with the material. That's just a little bonus step for you in introducing a new song, something that can help you already have the congregation singing the song before you even get to it. The goal is to help the church. All right? The church is not in your way as a worship leader, in the way of your agenda, right? In what songs you want to introduce. I think you can almost start thinking of them as a hindrance to what you will want to accomplish as a worship leader. That's not the case. You are there for the church. It is about them. It's equipping them with songs to sing to the Lord. You want to make that as easy as possible. You want to make it as easy as possible for them to enter into God's presence. So whatever it takes for that to happen, however easy you can make that, that should be your goal. All right, guys, so those are my 3 steps plus a bonus step to introducing a new song. I hope that this video helps you. I'm going to try to be releasing more content like this. So please comment down below. Give me some feedback. I want to make sure that I'm providing you guys with valuable content, stuff that is actually helping you. So comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.